Hi, Rigsters here. Now with a Forza video, I'm gonna call it Forza Car Series, where I try different cars that I think of maybe of interest, and also try some different paint schemes and different builds. I'm gonna be doing today on the 1997 Volvo 850R front-wheel drive A-Class Rally Tune. Some of the upgrades I put on this vehicle, just show you a brief rundown. Got maximum intake, no fuel system upgrades, maximum exhaust, no ignition upgrades, maximum camshaft, race valves, stock engine block, max pistons, one turbo upgrade, maximum race intercooler. I think now I can't do the intercooler there, and best flywheel. And of course the best brakes so I can do tuning, rally springs for rallying, and of course the roll bars, and almost max weight reduction. I have the sport weight reduction instead of race because I don't want to go into S1 for this vehicle because it wouldn't be very competitive there. Got race clutch, race transmission, maximum drive line to reduce the weight. Differential is very important for front wheel drive cars because you want to play around with that. And of course, got rally tire compound. You can also put on stock tire compound, but I'm not sure that really is going to help. Although I am debating whether or not I should do that or not. Let's see here. And maximum front tire width, which is 245 by 40. There's 17-inch wheels, and then in the back, 245 by 40 tire diameter. On the front here we have no wing, and then the back we have adjustable race wing. And this is what the car looks like. I used a tribal vinyl paint. And I thought it would look pretty cool to show you what the back looks like a little bit here, just to show you some of the custom paint job tunes, just like a quick glossy overview there. So what the side door looks like there. And on the other side I picked some other paint. And on the top, which is what I really think is pretty cool as well, is this tribal paint right here. I think it looks really nice. I think I'm finally starting to learn how to customize the car here. And then before I go into some races to show you some of the tuning ideas I'm doing, I'm going to try reducing the tire pressure a little more. This is the gear ratio I'm doing, 3.36 for final, and I just tuned some of the forward gears for like a little more acceleration, but not too much. Camber kept stock. I did adjust the Casper by 0.1. I don't know why it was down there. Roll bars. I think I'm going to make the front a little bit softer and the rear a little bit stiffer, just by 0.10. I did increase the spring rates and decrease the ride height a little bit. For dampening, I did 0.65 for the rebound stiffness. So basically meaning that I made the bump stiffness 65% of what the rebound is. That way it's more stable through the turns and it's not bouncing up and down like a beach whale or a ping pong ball. Aero, I haven't really played too much with. I think I raised it by 5. Yeah, I was raised by 5 pounds, 365. Brakes, I put 40% towards the rear. And differential, I'm doing 6% for acceleration and 70% decel. Now that I got a dirt race set up here, I wanted to test out, can front wheel drive actually do a rally course? Although ironically, some of these dirt courses are more asphalt than dirt, but having the rally tires will help with acceleration and deceleration on gravel and dirt, aptly named. They're multi-purpose tires in this game. And right now, hanging in on 7th place. Driving the front-wheel drive car fast is different than the other drive types, although they are good practice for all-wheel drive, meaning that the way they handle and respond is pretty similar. If these cars stop bumping into me, I could actually get to somewhere. It's like, jeez. I'm trying to get around these cars. And that's usually the hardest part about this, is because you understeer a lot. Which means you swing wide of the turns, instead of oversteer, which you can fishtail. But as you can tell, it is starting to be pretty competitive with this setup. And I like front-wheel drive in this game. It adds a unique play element to the game. It's not just stereotypical, just slap all-wheel drive and win kind of maneuver. I mean, it's a little unstable at high speeds, I've noticed, though, when you're trying to take turns pretty hard. I wonder if switching the brakes around would help. I'm trying to see if I can finish the podium here. And I like the engine note too. This is like, I believe it's the inline 5 motor they used at the time. Because Volvo is one of the few manufacturers that used inline 5-cylinder configurations. Audi was another one. They're not very well known engines. They kind of are like an in-between of 4 and a 6-cylinder. And this is the first time I went faster than 140 in this car. Yeah, so far so good. And it grips really nicely too. I mean, up in the tire diameter really does help. I'm gonna give it one more shot here, because I think I can finish better than 4th. If I just don't bump into the car. Alright, I'm gonna be tuning the brakes a little bit here. Let me see here, go to 60 on the front here. Let me try that out. And the differential, I'm gonna do 85%. Like 5% front and 80% deceleration. And maybe increase the cornering to 370. And maybe lowering the front line height by 0.2 inches. Or yeah, let's do 0.2. That's part of the game that makes it so much fun, is that you can do these stupid what-if builds and see if they work. I mean, it's not a pure simulator, obviously. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, that seems, putting him towards the front seems to help, that's for sure. So far so good. Alright, just learned something here. Putting the brakes for front-wheel drive cars towards the front actually moves the brakes to the rear. I kind of forgot about that. It's been a while since I played Forza. I used the handbrake there a little bit to get the tail to kick out a little bit. And you may be wondering, well, why are you lugging the car in 3rd gear? It's because it builds up the speed pretty quickly. Because it's dirt, it's fighting a lot of traction it lost. And now the car is handling much better. Yeah, this is way better. It's kind of weird how this game does like opposite effects for brake balance. And also decreasing the decel to 5% also seems to help a lot too, because now I'm in the lead. There we go. And see, that's just when strong understeer is really useful, is for turns like that. Not for turns like this, though. This turn demonstrates front-wheel drive's main weakness, but the turns before that was able to grip pretty well there. And I'm kind of curious, too, with this front-wheel drive ideas I have. Next one I'm going to try to do is see if I can make a good street racing car with front-wheel drive in the A-class spec, but not the same vehicle per se, but more of like different front-wheel drive cars and see what they can do. I like this build and tune, that's for sure. This is definitely a workable tune. And also I have traction control off as well, because I think with traction control this will not allow you to slide as well. gear ratios may still have to be worked out in the kinks, but the suspension is definitely where I want it to be at. That's for sure. First place. Alright. Well, that was definitely a good race there. So this is a good dirt series car. It's just not a good off-road series car because I think it would just bounce all over the place. But overall, if you tune this car right and keep playing around with it, I think it definitely can serve you well in the A-class build. With front-wheel drive, you have to kind of do a lot of left-foot braking, which means like hitting the gas and brakes at certain intervals, and also hitting and timing the handbrake pulls right. That way you kick the rear out, and then when you accelerate, you can get through the turn faster. And when you accelerate, you increase the understeer because the front tires are doing pretty much a lot of the work. And as you can see here, see how it quickly tightens up when I floor it? That's what the advantage of front-wheel drive can do. And yes, you can get a front-wheel drive car to fishtail. Believe it or not. It's harder to do, but it can be done. As you can see, I can do like an e-brake drift for a very short period of time. There we go. Alright, so that's it for this particular video. Just wanted to quickly show you a little bit of like a dirt rally tune for the Volvo 850R front-wheel drive configuration in A-class tune. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Rigsters Journey, signing off.